Welcome to Horror Hub 88, your dark frequency. Subscribe, or the static gets louder. Listen closely now, if you value your time. Because in the city of Chronos, where eternal twilight bleeds into the cracked pavement and the air thickens with the ceaseless, suffocating tick-tock of countless clocks, time itself has become a predator. Journalist Olivia Vance bumped into her childhood friend, Mark Evans, near the corroded bronze fountain in Liberty Square. The talented young violinist, usually vibrant, looked gaunt, shadows pooling beneath eyes that seemed decades older. He clutched a small, ornate pocket watch, freshly repaired by the enigmatic Raphael, the Clockmaker of Eternity Lane. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Mark rasped, tracing the tiny, etched hourglass symbol on its case, his voice already fraying like old twine. "Cost a fortune, but Raphael said it would keep perfect time." He coughed, a dry, rattling sound, and Olivia watched, horrified, as a streak of stark white flashed through his dark hair near his temple. Before she could speak, a deep wrinkle carved itself across his forehead like a knife scoring wax. "Mark?" He swayed, clutching her arm, his skin parchment dry and loose against her fingers. By the time the ambulance screeched to St. Magdalen's ER, Mark's hair was falling out in clumps, his spine curling, his voice a whisper lost in the cavern of his collapsing chest. Doctors stood paralyzed, instruments useless, as muscle melted from bone, teeth loosened and clattered to the floor. Within minutes, the vibrant young man Olivia knew was gone, replaced by a skeletal, ancient husk wrapped in hospital linen. His final breath, a ghost of sound against the relentless hospital clock. The sand ran out. Grief curdled into icy rage in Olivia's gut. In the sterile, fluorescent hell of the city morgue, Samuel, the weary pathologist, slid open another drawer. "Third one this week, Liv," he muttered, pointing a gloved hand at a shriveled form that might have once been middle-aged. Same damn thing, empty, like something sucked the life clean out, cell by cell. He tapped a microscope slide holding minuscule, gray particles, like ash, but heavier, driven by a cold dread. Olivia spent hours in the Chronicle's dusty archives, cross-referencing names, dates, causes of bizarre, rapid deterioration. The pattern snapped into focus, sharp and terrifying. Every single victim had recently acquired or repaired a timepiece at Raphael's shop. Then she found it, a yellowed front page from 1954. "Local craftsman saves historic town clock." The man in the grainy photo, receiving a commendation from the mayor, was unmistakable. Same sharp cheekbones, same cold, dark eyes, same precise posture. Raphael. 70 years, and not a single line, not a single gray hair. The air in the archive turned to ice. The tick-tock of the wall clock suddenly felt like a countdown. He wasn't just repairing time. He was stealing it. Tick-tock, Olivia, tick-tock. The sound wasn't just in the streets anymore. It pulsed behind her eyes, a metronome of dread counting down the moments until Raphael struck again. She pushed open the heavy, brass-bound door of Eternity's Keep, the bell jangling a dissonant, shrill note that died instantly in the thick air. Inside, the shop was a suffocating cavern. Thousands of timepieces covered every surface, climbed the walls, hung from the low ceiling. Grandfather clocks, mantle chimeras, wrist watches in dusty cases, all ticking, talking, whirring in a chaotic, oppressive symphony that vibrated in her teeth. Dust motes danced in the single, weak shaft of light struggling through a grimy window, smelling of aged wood, metal polish, and something faintly acrid, like ozone. Raphael emerged from the gloom like a wraith materializing. His face was a roadmap of ancient wrinkles, parchment skin stretched taut over sharp bones. Yet his movements were fluid, precise, unnervingly young. Worst were his eyes, dark, intelligent, and chillingly vital, scanning Olivia with detached curiosity from within that aged skull. "Seeking reliable time, miss?" he asked, his voice a dry whisper that somehow cut through the din. Olivia forced a journalist's smile, her heart hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. "Just an interview, Master Raphael. Your work is renowned." He tilted his head, a clockwork owl assessing prey. "Time is capricious," he stated, polishing a delicate gear with skeletal fingers. "A river that must be channeled, not merely observed. I am its regulator." He gestured towards a display of elegant wristwatches, each bearing the tiny hourglass. Perhaps a personal chronometer? Guaranteed accuracy. The offer felt like a spider extending a silk-wrapped leg. "No!" Olivia blurted, too loud, the ticking seeming to pause for a heartbeat. "I mean, not today. Thank you." A flicker, cold and knowing, passed through those young old eyes. "As you wish, but time, Miss Vance, waits for no one." She fled, the shop's hum clinging to her like cobwebs. Chronos descended into panic. Reports exploded. A baker aged decades during kneading dough, collapsing into dust. Children found withered in their beds. The clockwork plague. People smashed their watches, tore down public clocks, the streets echoing with the crack of glass and the screech of twisted metal, punctuated by raw screams of terror. Olivia felt the weight of unseen eyes, a shadow detaching itself too smoothly down an alley, the fleeting glint of brass in dim light. One morning, she found it, a small, intricate brass gear, cold on her doorstep, resting atop a tiny pile of fine, gray ash, a silent, chilling warning, tick-tock. Samuel's call came late, his voice tight with frantic discovery. "Olivia, the particles, I isolated them. It's not ash, it's gold. Microscopic grains of pure, shimmering gold sand mixed with the gray. It's like refined time, and the source trace." A sudden, sickening sound cut him off, a heavy thud, then a sharp, metallic hiss, like steam escaping, followed by a chilling silence. Then the line went dead. Olivia raced to the morgue, icy dread flooding her veins. She found Samuel sprawled on the cold tiles, not dead hours, but dead-aged. Overnight, the robust pathologist had become a gaunt, white-haired ancient, skin like crumpled paper, mouth open in a silent scream of final realization. Clutched rigidly in one wizened hand was a crumpled piece of paper, a rough, hand-drawn schematic of a complex mechanism, labeled Workshop Below. Scrawled violently across it, "Key heart of the spider, San life break it." Beneath the paper, cold against his palm, lay a key, unlike any she'd ever seen, brass and obsidian, shaped like a stylized spider with a central, crystal node pulsing with a faint, sickly light. The master key to hell. The relentless ticking of the morgue clock sounded like laughter. Whum. The obsidian spider key slid into the hidden lock behind Raphael's tallest clock case with a sound like a tomb ceiling. A section of wall, groaning with the weight of time, swung inwards, revealing utter blackness and a spiral staircase carved from cold, black stone. The air that rushed out was thick, metallic, tasting of ozone and old blood, carrying a deep, rhythmic thum, thum, thum that vibrated in Olivia's molars and shook dust from her clothes. It wasn't a hum anymore. It was the heartbeat of something colossal, something wrong. Every step down felt like descending into the gullet of a living machine. The workshop below was a cathedral of nightmares. Walls, floor, vaulted ceiling. All were a complex tapestry of interlocking brass gears, pistons, and whirring mechanisms, some larger than Olivia, gleaming dully in the pulsating light. The source of the light and the dreadful thum dominated the center. A colossal glass vessel, easily 10 feet tall, filled to the brim with swirling, incandescent golden sand. It pulsed like a captured star, bathing the cavern in waves of sickly, beautiful radiance, each pulse syncing with the subterranean heartbeat. Connected to this monstrous vessel by crackling threads of pure, white light were dozens, hundreds of smaller glass bulbs, each containing a faint, dwindling swirl of sand, and each inscribed with a name Olivia recognized from the obituaries. Mark's was almost empty, a few pathetic grains rattling at the bottom. Above it all, suspended in the web of light, crouched the spider. Not flesh, but forged terror. A 10-foot abomination of burnished brass, oiled steel, and obsidian joints. Its body was a complex engine of whirring cogs and glowing crystal lenses, its 8 multi-jointed legs ending in needle-sharp points that tick-tick-ticked against the stone floor. From its segmented abdomen, more threads of light, some golden, vibrant, others gray and fraying, spooled out, weaving into a vast, shimmering web that coated the ceiling, a map of stolen lives and stolen time. Shink, shink, shink. Its manipulators, delicate as a watchmaker's tools yet scaled for horror, plucked at the threads, rerouting flows of golden light from the smaller bulbs towards the central vessel, draining them with methodical, inhuman precision. Raphael stood bathed in the vessel's glow. His hand was plunged deep into the swirling golden sand up to the elbow. As Olivia watched, frozen, the deep wrinkles on his face visibly softened. The stoop in his posture lessened. A stolen vitality flowed into him, a horrifying reverse aging fueled by the screams trapped in the bulbs. He turned, not startled, but with the calm inevitability of a god noticing an insect. His eyes, now disturbingly bright, held no malice, only chilling calculation. "Ah, Miss Vance." His voice, stronger now, echoed in the chamber, harmonizing with the thum of the stolen heart. "You found the toll booth. Admirable persistence." He withdrew his hand, skin momentarily smoother, the sand clinging like glittering blood. "Eternity is costly." He gestured towards the pulsing vessel, the weaving spider. "This engine maintains the balance. It harvests the excess, the squandered moments. My timepieces, merely conduits, anchors." A cold, terrible smile touched his lips. "Life demands fuel, child. I merely collect the toll." The spider paused its weaving, multiple lensed eyes swiveling towards Olivia, emitting a high-pitched whine like a saw on bone. The heartbeat of the vessel seemed to quicken, waiting. "No!" Raphael's godlike calm shattered, replaced by raw, primal terror as Olivia lunged, not at him, but towards the heavy brass wrench abandoned near a workbench. The sight of Mark's near-empty bulb, Samuel's crumpled note screaming in her mind, ignited a fury colder than the void. "You don't understand the chaos you unleash," Raphael shrieked, his voice cracking with sudden, unnatural age. his hand outstretched, clawing the air as golden sand swirled around him like a malevolent halo. The spider screeched, a sound like tearing metal, legs stabbing towards her with lethal speed. Olivia swung. Crack, shatter, boom! The wrench connected with the colossal glass vessel. For a microsecond, time held its breath. Then, cataclysm. The glass exploded inwards with a deafening, crystalline scream, unleashing a supernova of incandescent golden sand. It didn't fall, it erupted, a searing, blinding geyser of stolen time that slammed into the vaulted ceiling, showering down in a million molten sparks. The deep thoom choked, replaced by a keening, metallic wail that tore at the fabric of reality itself. Raphael's cry became a gurgle. One moment, he was lunging, face contorted in rage, wrinkles deepening, hair bleaching bone white, robes hanging loose on suddenly frail limbs. The next, snap, skin smoothed, posture straightened, dark hair sprouted. Then back, crunch, spine curving violently, jaw unhinging, teeth crumbling to dust. Forward, youthful vigor flushing his cheeks, back, desiccation. He was a flickering, horrific strobe light of decay and rebirth, accelerating, unstable, trapped in a time loop tearing him apart cell by cell. His final form wasn't old or young. It was a collapsing cloud of gray ash, bone fragments and dying golden sparks, sucked into the maelstrom with a sound like a sigh extinguished. The mechanical spider convulsed, a puppet with severed strings, its legs twisted into impossible angles, brass plates buckling, steel joints shearing with shrieks of protest. Its central engine imploded, showering the chamber with superheated shrapnel and acrid smoke. The vast, shimmering web of light overhead dissolved, the threads snapping like overtuned violin strings, ping-ping-pinging into nothingness, freeing the faint remnants of sand in the smaller bulbs to drift like dying fireflies. The wave hit Olivia. Not sand, but pure, chaotic time. It felt like diving into an icy river and a blast furnace simultaneously. Aging, her scalp prickled violently. Thick clumps of auburn hair turned stark white, then fell, drifting like snow. Skin tightened over her knuckles, papery and thin, etched with deep lines. A crushing weight settled on her chest, joints screaming with decades of imagined arthritis. Her vision blurred, the world fading to a sepia fog. Yothing, sudden, electric warmth. The lines vanished, muscle strength surged back, vision snapped crystal clear. White roots darkened to vibrant brown, a fleeting, terrifying glimpse of her teenage self before. Disorientation. The workshop flickered. 1 second, decaying stone, broken machinery. Next, pristine, new, Raphael whole and smiling coldly at his creation. Then, overgrown ruins, vines strangling dead gears. Sounds overlapped, Mark's laugh, Samuel's final gasp, the spider's whine, children screaming outside. Time flowed in jagged stutters. A falling gear took seconds, then milliseconds, then hung suspended. Stumbling, retching, half-blind, Olivia clawed her way up the shuddering staircase. Emerging into the shop was like entering a funhouse mirror of hell. A grandfather clock melted like candle wax, then solidified brand new. Dust bloomed into fresh. Paint, then crumbled to powder. Outside, through the cracked door, chaos reigned. A man ran past, his beard growing foot-long in seconds, then vanishing, leaving a boy's smooth chin, then reappearing white. A child shrieked, shooting up to adult height, clothes tearing, before shrinking back, wailing like an infant. A building's brickwork rippled. Ancient decay, modern sleekness, half-finished construction, all within heartbeats. The sky pulsed, bruised purple one moment, midday sun the next, then starless void. The constant tick-tock was gone, replaced by a dissonant, grinding hum, and the shrieking wind, now thick with swirling, biting golden grit. Olivia Vance collapsed against the shattered shop front, gasping. Her reflection in a fractured window pane was monstrous. Eyes too young, too terrified, set in a face etched with deep lines, framed by uneven patches of white and brown hair. Chronos, the city of clocks, lay broken around her, a shattered mosaic of stolen pasts, stolen futures, and a present that couldn't hold. What had she done? There was no fixing this. No master regulator, only the ceaseless, no-screaming wind, the grinding hum of broken time, and the terrifying, unpredictable flux. She looked down at her trembling hand, the skin wrinkled, thin as parchment over prominent veins. She blinked. The wrinkles faded, replaced by smooth, youthful skin. Then back again. A single tear traced a path down her cheek. A tear that felt impossibly old and chillingly new. The wind screamed, carrying golden sand into the fractured, timeless dark. The end is never now.